Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Sonia and today we are talking about obesity and pregnancy equals risk. And what more can I say is let's get on with it. So I guess you've heard the saying that when you're pregnant you're eating for two. What about that the weight that you gain during your pregnancy, you'll lose afterwards because you'll be racing around after a newborn baby and breastfeeding and blah, blah, blah. And how about the other one that is during your pregnancy, those cravings, that's your body saying that you really need that particular type of food. I'm here to tell you that all of those are wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Stop. Do not believe that. So what is true? If you like information that is reliable and valid, then you need to subscribe to my channel below. And of course, all the references from today's chat is in the description box below. So pregnancy in a woman's life is a key stage of when nutritional importance is paramount. You are growing a life and you need as much nutritional goodness as you can to have a healthy baby, as well as keep yourself healthy. So a good way that we can actually discern whether we are in a healthy range is by working out your body mass index. Now, your BMI for short is actually able to be worked out yourself, height times weight squared, or you can go onto a site, I've got it in the link in the description box below, and actually type in your height, weight, that you're female or male, and it will give you your BMI. And this will range from underweight to healthy weight to overweight to obese. And wherever you are on that scale is an indication of your health. Now, if you are in the overweight section or obese section, then you need to take special attention. If you are in that weight area or in that scaled area, then you need to be doing something about your weight. As simple, changing things in your lifestyle. That's what you need to be doing. And definitely, if you're planning on being pregnant or you are pregnant, then you need to listen and hopefully find out some key important facts of what needs to be happening during your pregnancy and definitely afterwards as well. So let's have a look at why obesity is such an issue. At the moment, we're worried about the COVID or the coronavirus. And it is a global pandemic, but also our biggest problem is that so is obesity. Obesity here in Australia, obesity by the year 2025 will indicate or have something like 75% of the population, both males and females, will actually be overweight or obese. Now, that is a real problem because with obesity comes other issues like type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, decreased movement and problems with joints. These are all problems of being obese. So, of course, the bigger and larger our population grows, then, of course, women who are part of the population are going to be coming into pregnancy overweight or obese. And this is where the trend is happening. And this is why I'm talking to you about it today. So if you are currently overweight or obese and thinking of getting pregnant or going to be trying in the next 6 months, then you need to lose some weight. If you are currently pregnant and you are overweight or obese, then there is something, you can't lose weight while you're pregnant, but you can follow the guidelines for your weight. So during your pregnancy, there is amount of gestational weight that you are meant to actually put on because you have a baby growing inside you. So of course you're going to put on weight. However, The amount of weight that you put on is different for however much you weighed when you became pregnant. And this is a guideline and should be adhered to because it makes things easier for you and your child later on. So what do I mean by that? So over 50% of women who are falling pregnant are overweight or obese. So this is the problem. So the prevalence of maternal obesity increases a number of risk factors. Now these risk factors either affect you or it affects your baby. So what are these things that can affect you and your baby? There are things like gestational diabetes. If you as a pregnant mother get this, gestational diabetes, it could mean that you end up having to have insulin during your pregnancy. It also means that your baby can have complications, and you can definitely will have to have a cesarean and have a baby that before your due date. There are things like thromboembolism, so the risk of clots. There's preeclampsia, which adds other things. There's miscarriage. There's emergency cesarean sections, and as well as congenital abnormalities and mortality and postpartum hemorrhage. So these things are not good for mums and they're not good for the newborn baby or the growing baby. So, and it also puts pressure on the health system because, not only are you having cesareans and emergency surgery, you're in hospital longer and your baby is in places like neonatal intensive care, these are all costs or added costs because of, obesity during pregnancy. So obese and overweight mums are considered a challenging group by health professionals and allied health. Don't misunderstand it's called, we're picking on overweight people and obesity. That's not it at all. The thing is that when you are overweight or obese, it is more difficult to palpate your abdominal, like to assess fetal size, how the baby is lying or how it's going to present, and the degree of engagement during labour. So these things, it is what it is. It is just more difficult. So don't take offence because, if a health professional is saying something, they're not doing it to be mean or nasty. It is what it is. So I remember when I was working in a country hospital and a midwifery unit was attached to the surgical ward and the alarm button goes off on night duty and I go running in there and then I get there and here's this midwife and I catching this baby because the mother was obese and the midwife hadn't been able to determine how far into the labour she actually was. So there's those things. I have stood with fathers who have holding their newborn while their wife is on the operating table having a hysterectomy for a postpartum bleed. Now, these are things that are life-threatening and can end badly. These are not things that, you want to happen to you, nor to your family or anyone that you know. There is something called gestational weight, and this is the weight that is gained during pregnancy. So weight gain should be maintained within these specific guidelines, and if there is excessive gestational weight gain, it can be strongly associated with postpartum weight gain and obesity in the long term. So this can result in higher pre-pregnancy body mass index during subsequent pregnancies. So that is not a good thing. Children who are born to mothers who are obese are twice as likely to be obese. Mothers who gain excessive weight during pregnancy, that gestational weight, again, if they put on a lot more during pregnancy than they are meant to, then their children are 3 times more likely to have issues with obesity as a child. So what's the take-home points here? What am I trying to say? Well, if you're thinking of getting pregnant, know your BMI. If it's unhealthy or obese, then work on it before you get pregnant. If you are pregnant, definitely follow the guidelines for gestational weight gain during your pregnancy and stay within those guidelines. And thirdly, if you're a mum who has had a baby, you haven't lost the weight that you gained during pregnancy, and you're thinking of having another baby, then you need to lose that weight again, because it is putting you and will put you and your future baby at risk of all those maternal complications that we discussed earlier. So during pregnancy, we need to be eating a healthy diet. You know, a Mediterranean diet is one of the best diets for anything. And definitely during pregnancy, green, leafy, plant-based veggies and fruit are great for you. So instead of, having that craving and reaching for a sugary donut or bar or something, try and replace that with something that's better. An apple and a pear, whatever. Eat well and eat good food. And don't stop exercising. You should be walking. You have aqua aerobics. You can still do Pilates. Some people do yoga. Knowing what you can do is important. Definitely speak to your midwife and your health professional and get some tips on how you can stay healthy during your pregnancy and attend those antenatal classes so that you can be informed and just keep the weight within normal limits so that you don't put yourself at risk, you're not putting your baby at risk, and the future generation of our children. So I hope that has been helpful. And if you have any comments, put them in the comments below and I will answer them. So that's it for me, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now. Bye.